Why would you as a board make a decision on a one-year trend?
Right now on News 8 at 10, why some parents in Bettendorf say they were left in the dark after the school board voted over the weekend to make some changes in the classroom.
And a dangerous disguise. The new scam warning tonight from area police. How this simple move can leave behind a big problem.
Live from WQAD, News 8 at 10 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Jim Mertens.
And I'm Denise Hanitka. Thank you for joining us tonight. The Bettendorf School District made a move to create smaller class sizes, but their vote has a lot of parents upset tonight.
News 8's Jenna Morton joins us now live in Bettendorf and tells us why so many are saying the school board is in the wrong. Jenna?
Jim, at the school board meeting tonight, everyone can agree that the class sizes need to be smaller, but the disagreement comes from how the board decided to do so. Many say they weren't informed about the board's vote over the weekend until today.
It's a huge decision.
Parents Monday night would tell you they were left in the dark.
I was pretty flabbergasted when I saw that email this morning. I saw no communication prior to this morning that a vote was going to occur.
At a work session on Saturday, the board voted to add staff to reduce class sizes. But it's that vote that parents say they were not informed would even take place.
While the intentions are good here, the lack of notice continues the unfortunate erosion of public trust in this board.
The 5-year plan would help reduce elementary class sizes, knocking them down to the low 20s. A kindergarten and first grade class will be added to Grantwood Elementary next year, and additional classes will be added in each of the following years.
Most of our elementary grades, which were near capacity anyway, went to the desired maximum class size or a little bit beyond.
Although the district is expected to see a steady decline of 35 students over the next 5 years, Bettendorf saw an enrollment increase this school year. They also approved an extra class at Herbert Hoover Elementary, while agreeing to hire 3 new teaching positions at Bettendorf Middle School and an additional teaching spot at the high school.
We're going to make a huge decision in one weekend in a work session with no time to really dig deep.
While others say the bigger picture is being missed.
This should be about kids and not about who did their due diligence and who didn't do their due diligence. If I had a child in kindergarten, I would be thrilled right now.
Some of the board members tonight admitted that they didn't know a vote was going to take place at the work session and that they weren't given enough time to fully look into the plan. These class sizes will be comparable to North Scott, Davenport, and Pleasant Valley. They also fall in line with the nation's average for class sizes. Reporting live in Bettendorf, Jenna Morton, WQAD News 8.
Thank you, Jenna. And studies also show students who are in smaller classes score higher on tests, receive better grades, and have better attendance.
The clock is ticking for the Davenport School Board. Board members must approve next year's budget by next Tuesday. And tonight they discuss ways to save money by possibly selling Lincoln Elementary, which has been vacant since 2012. New at 10 tonight, News 8's Jared Ransom has more on what the options are for the board.
Millions of dollars in cuts to the Davenport School District budget are coming, and Superintendent Art Tate and the board are getting closer to figuring out what can be cut while causing the least amount of harm.
Some of the concern by the board that where are we going to go? And there will be strong discussions about the future, and it will affect class size. There's all sorts of things that will be considered for the next budget year.
It's been a heavy dose of reality each time board members look at the budget sheet showing cuts to all department budgets and even teaching assistants. But there's one decision they might make that they're considering for the first time. The Lincoln Elementary building is used only to about half of its potential since the district ended its regular use in 2012. Since then, it's cost the district about $60,000 a year to keep open for some school programs and community groups. And with thousands of dollars in repairs on the horizon for the 77-year-old building, the board may take action to sell the property.
We really need to consider what are we going to do. If we're losing money on it, do we want to continue to maintain that?
It's unclear right now what the value of the property would be or if there's even an interested buyer. Johansson says that this step may not even be on the table if it wasn't for the dire state of their finances.
Our concern for the community and for the different groups in the community is part of why we wanted to repurpose Lincoln originally instead of just sell it. But I do think that the budget has highlighted all of our expenditures.
As the budget deadline approaches, board members are looking at every possible option to get the district to a stable financial situation. In Davenport, Jared Ransom, WQAD News 8.
The board likely won't make a decision on Lincoln Elementary until later this spring. Johansson says they'll take a vote on the budget either March 28th or April 14th. There is growing outrage tonight from Illinois college students concerned about funding for MAP grants. Today, students and faculty near the Chicago area rallied together to send an angry message to the governor.
Stop playing games. We're not here to play games. We're here to learn. Stop playing games. You refuse to fund education. You tell us that our future doesn't matter.
Students and staff at Governor State University say the budget crisis has left many low-income students without tuition grants. That's why trustees announced it will front money for a program that covers tuition for more than 1,900 students.
Another mild and breezy day out there today.
Very nice. James Zahara watching those temperatures for us in the first check of the forecast. Hi, James.
Hey, guys. Yeah, unseasonably mild it was out there as temperatures made their way well in the 60s, even some lower 70s that we had for daytime highs, like around Mount Pleasant, around 72, around 70 degrees that we have from Washington, Wapello, Macomb, even got around 70 degrees in Muscatine. In the Quad Cities, it got as high as 69 degrees. Folks, these are pretty much the highest temperatures we've seen so far this season. And currently, we're still seeing some very mild numbers, the upper 50s and lower 60s. In the Quad Cities right now, only 61 degrees. This is something you feel like in early June, folks. A lot of clouds out there. Haven't been able to squeeze out much as far as any wet weather, as our storm tracker is keeping it nice and dry. But there are some rain chances in store in the days ahead, and we'll time it all out for you coming up in just a few minutes. Denise?
Thank you, James. There's a new warning tonight about spoofing. That's when scammers contact you using technology to trick your caller ID. Police in Morrison, Illinois say they've gotten complaints about scammers posing as ComEd workers threatening to shut off your electricity. Well, ComEd says it would never call you like that and ask for a prepaid credit card for payment. You can see how spoofing works by checking out our story at WQAD.com. Just type spoofing into the search bar.
News 8 has learned that plans to bring a new psychiatric hospital to the Quad Cities may have been dealt a blow after several local schools dropped their support. Last month, a regulatory panel voted 2-2, putting a stop to Strategic Behavioral Health's plan to build a psychiatric hospital in Bettendorf. Genesis Health and Unity Point Health Trinity both opposed the certificate of need the company needed from the state to start construction. Last year, some local school districts sent letters backing the plans, but in January, the school districts retracted their support.
We question whether or not we were in a position of sufficient expertise to be able to say, this is the best solution.
Genesis officials say Davenport Superintendent Art Tate was not part of the meeting in January and that he came to this decision after a different meeting.
We're 1 week from the Illinois primary, and now an outside group is working to deny Donald Trump a victory in next week's primary. A super PAC called Club for Growth Action has spent $2 million in ads to target the Republican candidate. The ads will also run before the Iowa caucuses. The Republican candidates are coming off contests in several states this weekend, with Donald Trump and Ted Cruz each winning 2 states.
Funeral services for former First Lady Nancy Reagan are set for this Friday at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in California. Mrs. Reagan passed away Sunday at the age of 94 of congestive heart failure. The Galesburg community actually shares a special connection with Nancy and Ronald Reagan. Separated by a decade, they each lived in the city as children. Nancy Reagan spent summers and holidays there with her grandparents, and Ronald Reagan lived on Kellogg Street.
Coming up on News 8 at 10, a journey through the Underground Railroad.
We go behind the scenes of a new TV drama giving us a dramatic look at the life or death race to freedom in the years before the Civil War.
You're watching WQAD News 8 at 10 with Jim Mertens and Dundee Sinitka.